Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this live will be in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here, my moderator. I appreciate you so much. Hey, dear Yvette, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Sharon Gottwald, thank you so much for being here. So, guys, we got to talk about it. Like, we really have to settle this once and for all. Okay? So, the question is, do you agree that Shamea is Portia's puppet? This has been a long running story. Like, Shamea has really been dragged through the mud. It's just like she cannot shake this. The whole theory that she's Portia's puppet. Like, what do you guys want her to do? Okay. So I seen something um that I thought was very interesting, and they made some very good points. So I want to share that with you guys, and I want to know what you think. Okay. So let me do this because it just seems like she is never going to be able to get away from this narrative. And that's such a shame. Okay. Now, I will admit that at some times she does have very questionable behavior when it comes to Portia. Okay. So I was over there, and let me just make sure you guys can see this. Yes, you guys can see it. So I was over there on the X streets. Okay. I still feel so weird calling this platform X instead of Twitter, but anyways. So, and this person, cool girl, um, this is what she had to say. She said, and another thing, Shamea is getting a great edit, but the real Shamea, Portia's right hand, showed up tonight. Fool me once, Shamea. So basically, a lot of people are saying this in reference to the last episode. And I think most of the dragging is coming from the fact that Portia made that statement about, sleeping with somebody else's husband. And there just happened to be two married ladies right there at the pool that did not call Portia out on this behavior. Okay. So I want to read some of the comments because, they made some very valid points. And this person said, I'll always remember. Like, they really won't let Shamia get past this. And somebody else said, refusing to grow. And then somebody said, child, that lapdog is so musty and late. And then the person who posted this replied and said, I am not feeling her lately. And then somebody else said this, a married woman sitting there and letting another woman talk about wrecking someone's marriage without a peep of correction. The real her definitely showed up. That HVAC millionaire gonna be packing filters in Portia's tunnel next. See how funny that is. I'm off of her now. Okay. Like, let me just check. What do you guys think? Like, do you still feel like she is Portia's lapdog? Or do you think that she has redeemed herself because at the end of the day, it looks like she has the life that Portia wants to live? Like, she has received her very own life. So, what do you guys think? But let me just read a few more comments because, these people make some valid points. I'm kind of neutral in the situation because I feel like people should give Shamea a chance. Yes, we've all heard it in the past. But at the end of the day, she was not a peach holder. She was just a friend of the show. So there was no need for her to try to outshine Portia. She was letting Portia's light shine because that's what a supportive friend would do, in my opinion. And so somebody else says, as a wife, why would she giggle at Portia saying if Angela doesn't stop, she's going to sleep with Charles? Shamea is a low down. She is as low down as Portia. Shamea not showing up as a wife. She's very loose and acting like a trick. Wilding out on TV is not it, and being sloppy isn't housewife behavior. Now, when it comes to that, what I will say about that is I feel like Shamea's husband knows exactly who he has in a wife. And obviously, he loves her, every inch of her, every part of her personality, how she shows up. He obviously don't have a problem with it, which is why he allowed her to come on this show. And not that, you know, he controls, her every move, but I'm just saying, like, he's okay with her totally being herself. And let's keep it real. If you're going to be in a relationship or if you're going to be married to somebody, that's exactly what you want. Somebody who totally allows you to be yourself. You do not want to be judged in your marriage. And somebody else said, that's why I'm having trouble connecting with the young lady. Shamea has the cards to be great, to be a great housewife, but she throws it out the window to be Portia's lapdog. And I'm going to also say this, people are who they are. Like, you just let people be who they are. Like, all of the other ladies, like, everybody has some idea of who Portia is, and people just let Portia be who she is. You can't change people. You just be kind to people and just let them be whoever they are. Okay. So I don't feel like it's always Shamea's place to try to correct Portia. That's just not her place. Just because they're friends doesn't mean that she has to always correct Portia. At the end of the day, let Portia be exactly who she is, and people can make their own judgments. Okay? So that's what she's doing. And I have learned um in my years of experience. And, like they say, with age comes knowledge, that you should not, you know, talk negative about a person. Just let people be who they are, and their actions will speak for themselves. When you try to convince people that, this person is a bad person or whatever the case may be, then you start looking like a hater. So you let people be who they are, and people can make their own judgments. They'll see it for themselves. And Sharon Gottwald says, exactly. So again, they go way back. They've been friends since grade school. Sometimes when you're young and you befriend people, over the years, people change. That doesn't mean you just throw them away. You know how to deal with those people, and, you know, you just feed them with a long handle spoon. And that's just what it is. But you don't have to constantly be calling people out. Just let them be who they are, and people will see exactly who they are for themselves. And that's exactly what's happening with Portia now. Everybody is starting to realize that Portia could potentially be a 304 out here in these Atlanta streets, first off. And she's really looking like a mean girl just because things aren't going her way. And as much as Portia is a fun, bubbly girl that we all love to watch, on our TV, um, we've all seen Portia turn up when she doesn't get her way. Okay. So Portia is spoiled. She's selfish, but we still like Portia. Okay. But again, she's still out here looking like a 304 out here in these Atlanta streets. And I don't feel like Shamea has to add anything to that equation. Portia is doing a good job of that herself, of letting people know exactly who she is. So, although I agree with some of the feedback that we're getting about Shamea, her first season, because keep in mind, too, guys, she has to fill this show out. She's been on the show, but she's never been a peach holder. So she's still feeling her way around, like all of the newbies. Some of them are coming out really strong, and I kind of feel like that's going to hurt them in the long run. And then some people are just feeling their way around. And that's what I feel like Shamea is doing. She has been so close to this situation. She knows how it goes. But at the same time, she was a friend of the show. She didn't have a peach. So things change when you have a peach. And Sharon said, Portia is not looking good in the streets at all. Exactly. So why does Shamea has to pile on to that? Like people are making their own assumptions about Portia. So, there's no need for Shamea to jump on that bandwagon. They have kids that are friends. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they're still like family, okay? Whether you guys want to agree or not, they still are family. So, would you throw your sister up under the bus for a TV show? Would you throw your family members up under the bus for a TV show? So I'm just giving you guys, another viewpoint, another way to look at this. Because at the end of the day, they're past the point of being best friends. You know, they're at this point, they're family. So, hey, it is what it is. You can't change people. So you just let people be who they are. So I think that people have some very strong opinions about Shamea. And I'm going to say this about Shamea. When I tell you, I feel like Shamea works overtime. Like she reminds me of Candy Burris. Like she's one of the hardest working people in those Atlanta streets because first of all, she carries multiple jobs. She's, making music, she's doing this show, she's doing her thing, as the host. She's all over the place. And she's raising two kids and in the process of trying to have a third child. And one of her babies has a lot of health issues. So I'm just going to say it like this. In my eyes, Shamea can't do no wrong because she's doing what she has to do. She's being an amazing wife. She's covering all her bases. She's great on this show. She's giving us her fun personality, which is something that at the end of the day, that's all Portia got because this whole storyline that we intended to get from Portia, we're just not getting it. We're getting nothing from Portia but a bad attitude and just the look of somebody who's miserable because things did not turn out the way that she thought they would. Okay. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here. And Cece said it may be better for her to slow down if they are blessed with another child. You are absolutely right, Cece, because at the end of the day, I'm even shocked that she is considering having another child with everything she's already been through. Like, I'm even shocked, but I totally get it that, you know, her husband wants a son, and that's a part of his legacy. I totally get it. And the thing is, it might be hard for a while and then they'll have their son, hopefully. So I'm kind of in the middle. Personally, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that, but I'm not knocking her for choosing to have a son because at the end of the day, I never had a daughter. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I always wish I would have had a daughter and what that would feel like for me. So I get it that she wants to have a son and that her husband wants to have a son. You know, they got the money to be able to take care of as many kids as they want. So why not? They have the money to be able to hire private nannies, private assistants, whatever they need. So why not? And to some cultures, you know, having a son means a lot, you know, to leave your legacy to and just for the lineage of it all. So, you know, I get where these ladies are coming from, being that, you know, Shamea is a married person, but what about all this stuff that Angela said to Portia? And I'm not making any excuses. That was very disgusting what Portia said. That was very disgusting. So I'm not making any excuses. But just like everybody always says, you know, you can't choose how people respond, you know, when you're coming for them. You just don't get to make that choice. And when you deal with somebody who is known to be gutter, is known to take people's man, hey, y'all put it out there. This is the term that y'all gave her. You know, that she steals people's husbands, she sleep with people, man. So hey, I guess she just owning it. She can't shake it, so she's owning it. Because no matter what she does, she's never going to be able to get away from the fact that she took what's her name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Fallon's husband, okay? And somebody else said Angela was correct about her being Flavor Flav and being Shamina. Oh my God. Now they're going back to the insults after these two ladies made up. But let me tell you something about Angela. She made up with Shamia, but now at the end of the last episode, she called Portia a puppet again. She called all of those lady puppets. And not only that, she so-called made up with Britt, but she still ended up going back on that. So from my viewpoint, Angela is the one that's nobody's friend. If we're keeping it real, and somebody else said, Shamia is Portia's best friend. Don't y'all stand up for y'all's friends? Y'all are moving so weirdly, or if could be that y'all don't have friends who ride for you. That's a good point. So she pretty much is on the same page as me. At this point, Shamia and Portia are like family. You know what I'm saying? So some people are just ride or die like that when it comes to their friends, their families, whatever the case may be. And somebody else said, y'all only like Shamia when it's beneficial to hating Portia. And somebody else said, it's reasonable to question the character of anyone who enables and supports Portia's deplorable behavior. Shamia might have low self-esteem and or back character herself. And the thing is, when somebody has low self-esteem, I don't care how much money they got. I don't care what the situation is, where they find themselves. It's hard to shake that. And you're going to still, that's going to always be in the back of your mind if you have low self esteem. And somebody else said their best friends, she gonna ride right or wrong, just like I'll do for mine. Ain't no telling what conversations they have privately, but to the world, we should never see the switch up. Good point. You know, we don't know what she's saying to Portia behind the scene. Like, Portia, girl, that was a lot. You went too far. And again, Portia admitted it herself. She was drinking. So the fact that Portia was probably toe up, it's her birthday, you know, don't nobody really expect anything different. She probably forgot the fact that she was mic'd up, which is why she left the scene when Angela came to approach her about what she said. And then somebody else said, finally, someone has said it. Birds of a feather. And then somebody else said, Shamea is a puppet and Shamea overacts for the camera. It's annoying. I don't think Shamea be overacting. I think Shamea is just, I mean, that's just her personality. She loves to dance. She loves to sing. She's just lit. Some people, that's just their personality. They got lit personalities. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I call myself, or feel like I'm a lit person because when I'm at a party or I'm hanging out with my family, yes, I have a damn good time. I dance, I sing, I get crunk, I do whatever because at the end of the day, that's who I am. So, yes, guys, they are really eating Shamia up in these comments. And let me see what you guys have to say. So Sharon says, I'm gonna take your man. It's kind of like Portia's trademark. Stop. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't give that to herself, you know. The public opinion gave that to Portia. You know what I'm saying? So since they're saying it, she just, hey, throwing it out there. They even made a song about it. I'll take your man. So hey. And Cece said, IRT friends. I rock. I'm trying to see what that means. I'm not that good with acronyms, CC. Friends. I wouldn't chastise my friends in front of others. That's a behind the scenes conversation. Exactly. So it seems like most of you guys are on the same page with me. Um, and Sharon says, I like Shamia. She's the life of the party. That part, Sharon, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. She's just the life of the party. And sometimes you need a mix. You need the Cynthia's personality and you need the total opposite, which is Shamia. Like, and then Portia is a lot like Shamia. So that's why they vibe because it's going to always be a good time when they get together, you know. And it seems like Angela, she's not a fun time girl. She's more of a messy chick. You know what I'm saying? The kind I don't want around me because at the end of the day, when you out trying to have a good time, life is short. You know what I'm saying? When you work hard, you want to play hard. You don't need nobody around you who's clocking how many drinks you having, who's running back on the phone with their husband, telling everything that's going on. When you having girls' time, like I don't do them type of chicks. You know what I'm saying, who always trying to judge or whatever the case may be. Because when girls get together, we deserve to have a damn good time. So we don't need those chicks that be over here just with so much to say. Now, again, this is not me taking up for Portia because Portia was dead ass wrong. And just, because you like to have a good time, don't mean that you can say whatever come to your mind. Like you need to check that, Portia. But at the same time, again, I'm just not feeling Angela. It's obvious that she was brought here for a specific reason, okay? She was brought here to carry the bones, okay? She was brought here to be the messy bitch, okay? And that's what it is. And obviously, she's okay with that. It's going to get to a point where she probably won't have anybody to film with outside of the group functions or the group trips or whatever the case may be. She's trying to latch on to Drew because a lot of people never really got Drew. But I'm going to say this about Drew. I'm really feeling Drew this season. Drew is, yes, Drew is doing her thing. And I'm just going to say that. Drew is doing what is supposed to be done. And Cece said, I'll take your man. Shout out to Salt and Pepper 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. That part, I heard about that. Shout out to them. Hey, LFMC, thank you so much for being here, sis. And Cece said, I like how Angela doesn't run from repeating what the heck she said in whomever's face, but she does seem like a Scrooge or a Scrooge. Okay, that part. Now, even Kelly don't bite her tongue either because she was the one that confirmed what Portia said. So, y'all know Kelly is one of my faves as well. So shout out to her. And Alpha MC says, sorry, I'm coming late. I'm just glad you here, sis. So yes. So this season, definitely feeling Shamea, Kelly, and who else? Shamea, Kelly. I think, is that it? I think, oh, and Cynthia. I think that's it. Not really feeling Britt, not really feeling Angela. Portia is all over the place with her emotions. One minute she's, happy, turning up, and then the next minute her emotions get the best of her and she's all in her feelings. And I get it. She's going through a divorce, and that's pretty much what it is when you're going through a divorce. So, um at this point, I'm just going to let give Portia time to grow up, because that's what I get from Portia. She's just immature. And I'm just going to, give Portia the opportunity to grow up, because she is definitely not there yet. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say. And I am going to give her some grace just because she's going through a divorce. Now, on the other hand, Drew is going through a divorce too. But I think Drew is out here doing the damn thing. She's in her bag. She's taking care of her kids. She's being a good friend to those people who are a good friend to her. She's turning up on the show. She's giving what she's supposed to give. So, Drew is going to be all right. Okay. Portia, on the other hand, she needs some serious work, and she just needs to just separate herself and just really sit down and just figure out what she wants her future to look like. And that's my advice to Portia, because right now it looks like she really has not figured this all out, and she's pretty much living day to day, trying to figure this thing out as she goes. Hey, sometimes life throws you a curveball and you got to roll with it, okay? So that's going to be all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have not done so already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.